All right, what's up? How we doing? Good morning. I am back. How we doing? It's good to see everybody, man. All the regulars back in the chat already. Let's get to it. We've got work to do. Big bar, 25. 225 out. We've got clearly either a range or a soft bear channel. We'll see how quickly this rejects. And let's do it up. Let's do it up. Yeah, so I missed a couple of days of the stream, obviously. I very rarely will do that. But I had to because have you ever switched everything from one of your work PCs over? Well, probably. It's a pain in the ass. And obviously I had to make all my trading stuff a priority. So I had to do all that stuff first, make sure I was good to be able to trade like normal so I didn't have to go and try to do it on like a laptop or something. So I got all that switched over, and then I have to switch over all of this stuff, which, you know, it's not that big of a deal, but it takes a few days for sure. So I was like, fuck, let me just knock it out. And I'll see you guys in a few days. And here we are. So let's get to it. We've got work to do. And I am anxious to get back at it, man. Let's do it. Minute 15 out here. Again, you're looking at an NQ 5 minute. All right. So obviously, you know, we have a couple of options here. This bar 25, to me, doesn't really clearly destroy the argument for the soft bear channel. At least not yet. We're 30 seconds out. We'll see how it closes up. I'm watching the wick high here, bar 22. I can't buy the breakout yet, obviously, right? So we'll look at it as a potential range, and in the meantime, see if that soft bear channel holds up. Fuck, it's good to see everybody, man. It's great to be back. It's good to be back. I don't get how people take like a month off. I wasn't here for 2 trading days and feels like it's been a month. Gamma, big dog, what's up? Big E? Christian, how we doing? Come on, Bulls. If you're going to break it out, man, break it out. Let's go. There we go. Taking the wick high at 22. I don't mind that. Now let's see if we can keep that up. All right, 236 out here from the close of bar 26. Again, if you're just joining us, this is a 5-minute NQ chart. I gotta tell you, I'm looking at this. Size myself down a tad because ATR is up at 48. All right, now I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna short this and bet on that range / soft bear channel. Come on, give me a fill, man! And I'm gonna risk the wick high of 13. So I sized down a tad, so we got the wick high of 13 at 45.75-ish. I'm gonna go 46.75, pull this guy down, and I'm sized down a bit here because I'm giving that a little bit of room. Bring that guy down a hair more. All right. Now, again, this is not necessarily a scalp. Of course, we love when it works quickly, don't we? But this is more of kind of a midterm day trade. Quicker it works, the better, of course. See if the bears can get that done here. It's a good tip, by the way. If you ever see a trade, this seems obvious, but straight up, this took me kind of a little too long to understand getting started. If you ever see a trade that you like, and you can make sense of the math on it, at least you think you can, but you're like, yeah, but the obvious risk on it is it's too far, man. I can't risk that much money. Then trade smaller. Take the trade. It's in front of your face. Just trade smaller. All right, Bears, I know I said that we're going to give you some time, but I wasn't serious now. Come on, I want to see an 85-point dump in 10 seconds. Man, someone passed Trump his iPhone. Let's get this thing moving. Well, what's up with you guys so far here today, man? Fade that thing, Bears! Come on now! Yeah, ATR sitting at 46, 47-ish here. Again, that's the average range of a bar here on a 5-minute NQ chart. All right, there's the rollover. Close of 27 into the open of bar 28. ATR now down to 43. It's all right. Now, of course, with the argument of a soft bear channel / potential sideways range, which is both supported, or which are both supported by this trade, there's always a counter argument. And that counter argument is if you zoom in on a smaller time frame chart, you're maybe going to see a soft bull channel. However, I would argue that that's out of context. Because you zoom out a little bit and it's like, wait a second, you could have said the same thing here. On a smaller time frame. Luke, what's up, big dog? How we doing? Give this trade time. Let it do its thing. Yeah, I'm on a 5-minute. I'll manage bar by bar if necessary, but gotta give it time. Tony, Jonathan, what's up, brother? How we doing? Both you guys. All right, closing up here in 13 seconds. There's the open bar 29. ATR is still sitting 43. I gotta tell you, it feels like things are slowing on these last three bars. 27, 28, now 29. We'll see if 29 can expand a little bit. Ideally downside. Would be nice. Well, come on, Bears! We got a sideways trading range here from bar 25 to now, 29. We got 2 minutes till 29 closes up, rolls over into 30. Watch how 29 closes up, by the way. If 29 closes as a nice clean bull body above the wick high of 26, I will close out. "55 seconds. Inside close. There's the open at bar 30. So I gotta leave it now and watch 30. Same deal here for me on 30. So 30 closes up, 5 minutes. Oh, you bulls. Is that just a little breakout attempt, or did we just get news? All right, well, seal bar 30 closes up here, 4 minutes. Nico, what website or app would you use or do you use to get notified of breaking news? Well, notified is a different story. If you just want to see breaking news, you're always going to be a little late to the party unless you have a Bloomberg terminal. They clearly have a monopoly on the industry. Allegedly. Whatever the fuck. You're best off, honestly, with either Financial Juice or X. X is probably faster, to be honest with you. Find someone who posts breaking news, market-related to X, and maybe turn on notifications for them. I don't know. Getting notified in real time, I seriously looked into getting a Bloomberg terminal maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And, you know, they're not cheap. They're like, at that time, I think they were $2,400 a month. I think there was an upfront fee as well if you were only buying one. Not decking out a floor of traders, right? And I was like, okay, so how much do you really trade breaking news, actually, and have an edge on it? The answer is almost never in today's market. And if you're trading price action, I honestly think it's better to maybe just see the news and figure out what it is later while you manage the price action bar by bar. You manage your trade by price action. Because if you start trying to like, oh, this news happened, let me take a trade because I think that that's bullish. We know that news is 50-50. It's 50-50 by the time you get to it, especially. Unless you're trading, if you're someone who's taking swing trades on commodities, you're trading natural gas and holding positions for, you know, 3 weeks, 3 months, then by all means, get a Bloomberg terminal. It's probably going to be helpful for you. But if you're trading price action intraday, honestly, I think it's a distraction / waste of your money. All right, we got 33 seconds here. Let's watch how bar 30 closes up. All right, here comes the rollover. Bar 30 is going to close basically at its midpoint. Which, you know, as much as I know many of you would say, oh, I'd love to maybe cut it. That's not a long setup for me. That's not a buy decision for me. And since I'm sitting short, for me to close early, it has to be a buy decision, right? Alright, so I'll watch how 31 closes. If it threads the needle between the Wikai 30 and my stop. And if it does, then of course I will manually cut it. $247 out. See if the bulls got the wick high at 13. All right, I'll cut it. Let my copier flatten here. All right, let's keep it moving. So we've got 215 out here from the close of 21. I'm still on a 5-minute NQ, and these bulls are really trying something. This bar, by the way, is not outsized yet. This would be the first bar to close if it can outside the wick. Now we're getting into outsized territory. Outside the wick high of 13. That's why, by the way, it makes sense to cut above 13 as a hard stop. I really wonder, are we getting a little bit of news here, though? Because this is just... kind of out of the blue. Dude, range on this bar, 133 points. Look at this. Okay, bar 31 here is going to close basically at its midpoint. High at day, obviously the wick high of bar 1, right about 303. I think we honestly just got a big whole day range, trading range. Question, Nico. Any of the geopolitical news lately causing you anxiety? Nope. No, sir. If it's 50-50, what does that mean? It means sometimes it'll go against you, sometimes it'll work in your favor. What I don't like about it is it adds waves to the price action, which is not my favorite thing. But on the flip side, it adds volatility, which is obviously tremendous. The worst thing that can happen to us is not what people would call choppy price action. The absolute worst thing that can happen to us is there is no price action because ATR is 7. So I like when there's news. What I don't like is when there's back and forth a bunch of garbage all the time. Because it does make our job a little tougher, but that's okay. You have to trade through periods like this, which is why you size yourself appropriately, right? By the way, what's small for me might be ridiculously small for you, or what's small for me might be massive for you. It's all relative, dude. You might take a trade where you're sized down and lose $25,000. And someone might say, holy shit, you just lost 25K. You fucking suck. And you might say, that's small for me. It's all relative, man. Focus on you. Size yourself appropriately, take trades that you can make logical sense of, accept the outcome, and move on with your life. Oh, yeah, I imagine we're going to see the bears try to pull this on back at least a little ways. We'll see if they can swallow up the full bar 31. Okay, so we've got the open here at bar 33. Nico, which copy do you? I use the Affordable Indicators copy trader to copy trade my accounts. Now, I've tried a lot of them. Well, I don't know if a lot. I don't know how many there are. Probably a lot. I've tried maybe 4 or 5. And Affordable Indicators, by far, gives me the least amount of issues. You know, by the way, if you recently got into the prop space, like, let's say in the last 6 to 9 months, maybe, I don't think you understand how good you have it. Those of us old heads had to deal with copy traders that just didn't work and would glitch like once a week and would give you partial fills even when you were using market orders and just wouldn't close random positions all the time. Now that still happens to me, but you'll see like it'll automatically flatten. It happened on that first trade today. And those aren't real positions yet, by the way. Those are ghost orders. That's actually a Ninja Trader problem. It's not a copy trader problem or a prop issue. It's a Ninja Trader issue. It leaves out positions that aren't real. And then the copier detects them and 5 seconds later closes them out. Closes them out. Just flattens you. All right, bar 34. Come on now. There we go. 4 minutes here. All right, 34 is not looking too bad. Now, the counter argument to 34, of course, is that we see another sideways trading range up here inside of bar 31. ATR is actually back up, by the way. Remember we were at 43? Bar 31 helped us expand. We're now closer to 50, 48.7. All right, minute 18 out. Let's see how bar 34 closes up. Bulls gonna close it inside the wick high of 33, man. They got nothing here. All right, let's watch 35. Keep an eye out for 35 here. What chart? This is a 5-minute NQ chart. All right, 242 out. I may have something to do here on the close of 35. We shall see. Oh, this market is jumpy. It's jumpy. This market is spooked by its own shadow here today in both directions. This all makes me start to think sideways range inside the wick low of 33 and the wick high of 31. Oh man, at least ATR is bumping up. We're back above 50, 51 here on the ATR, bottom right of your screen, that number in red. Oh, man. All right, 36. 245 out. Trying to catch another trade here, man. Come on now. But I gotta tell you, I'm a little bit concerned about this kind of deal. At what point can we say the market has shifted up? Oh man, a while ago. When we broke the wick high of bar 13. At what point can I put on a bullish trade is an entirely different question. Look at that. Bear's trying to take it right back inside. Oh, man. ATR 50. Minute 5 out here from the close of bar 36. We got a question here about the PA lately, the price action. So, here's how I would put it. Let's go back like maybe 6 months. October, and I'm talking price action and we'll say ease of our job. We'll put it that way. This isn't easy, of course, but we'll put it that way. So we'll start with what? October? Average, normal. November, quite a bit above average. November it wasn't like the best month ever, but it was a pretty good month. And I think everyone kind of felt that in November, which is important, by the way. Those are the months that when you're new, it's like, oh, I can do this. I see. December was quite a bit below average. The price action in December was kind of whiplash, I think, for a lot of people because November was great and December was not. And what do I mean by that, by the way? Well, you know, in November, it felt like every good setup you looked at just went and it just flowed and it was beautiful. And it's like, we appreciate those months. December, it was very... You know how I say 80% of breakout attempts will fail? December kind of felt more like 95 and low volatility, which is not tremendous. January, like average. February, like average. March, I would say below average. Clustered pretty close together with December. You don't usually see 2 months like December and March that close together in an average year. Not that it can't happen, of course. I'm just saying on average, it's like you might get 1 or 2 of those months out of the year, and they just happen to be 3 months apart, 2-3 months apart. And April, we shall see. We shall see. still inside this trend range. Now, this is really, really, really common, by the way. You get a bar like 31. Man, this happened last week, right? You get a bar like 31, something like this. And everyone's convinced. Everyone's convinced, but it closes at its midpoint, and that tells me, hang on, keep an eye out for a sideways range here, and it's been 30 minutes. And that's what we're getting right now, is a sideways trading range. Let's see if we can clean this thing up. Come on now, bulls. If we could turn this guy into a nice soft bull channel, all of a sudden we've got something to work with. It's not like this channel's so tight. I mean, 80 points, ATR down now, 43. We were just at 51 not too long ago, of course. All right, I'll tell you what. I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'm going to get a refill on coffee, and we're going to let this thing break out. I'm going to pull out the old trick. All right, be right back. All right, what's up? Halfway through bar 39 here, still in this little single bar sideways range from 36 through 39. Also inside the sideways trading range that's inside completely bar 31. You know, wick low of 33, wick high of 31. How many trades a day do you take? As many as there are. It varies. Well, should we look at a 2-minute chart? Man, it's the same sideways range. Not that that's unexpected. Single bar sideways range from bar 88, 89 here on the 2-minute. Well, we know that this is here, so we might as well get rid of it. And of course, the other side of this argument is also a wedge. Back to the 5-minute here. Beautiful balls. All right, 3:15 out. Two minutes. All right, 30 seconds here. Pop on over and see how bar 40 closes up. A lot of insecurity in that wick. Wick high here, bar 40 is above the wick high of 31, so we'll see how this bar closes up. Let's get ready just in case here. Oof. Oh, man. All right, bar 40 is going to close beneath its midpoint. Big wick. Those bulls aren't so sure. All right, we got about 2 minutes here till the close of 41. And we could really use some conviction here out of these bulls. Obviously, you look at the chart, it's like the chart's going higher. Sure, but after 31, you got a single, well, not a single bar, you got a sideways range with a small single bar range in between from bar 36 to 39. All right, you bulls, come on now. 50 seconds. Now that would be the early trade. And we'll see how it closes up. Oh, you bulls, man. All right, that's going to roll over into 42. We've got tiny bull body, basically a doji there on 41. Now, of course, the longer and longer this goes, you draw it a couple of ways, don't overthink it. The more of an argument you have for bull blank. Soft bull channel, bull wedge. Of course, still the sideways trading range if the bears pull it back. High of day, of course, wick high of bar 1. Right back there. About 303. I'm going to hit a limit order reversion scalp, and I'm going to tighten. You could use the wick low of 33. I'm not. I'm going to treat it more like a scalp. Use the wick low of 38. Which, of course, decreases probability. Should understand that by now, right? I'm still sized down, by the way. Okay, let me ask you guys a question. Whenever I take a trade, I always get like a bunch of questions, not always, I often get a bunch of questions. I'll be sitting long and people will say, "Why are you short?" What's confusing about my screen? Is there nothing confusing about my screen, or is there something that I'm missing? Because to me, it's so clear that I'm sitting long. The position, that position size window is green, right? This is green. You have the stop loss in red, the take profit in green. Is it obvious? I feel like it's pretty obvious. Okay, good. So if you ever come on into the stream, by the way, I'm not talking shit, man. I just want to make sure it's clear. If you ever come into the stream and I'm in a trade and you're like, I don't know which way he's sitting. You can look at this, the number, that's my leader account. If that's green, I'm long. If it's red, I'm short. Same thing with the position window right above the open P&L. If that number is green, I'm long. If it's red, I'm short. All right, bulls. Soft bull channel. Let's fade this thing. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. HR sitting at 40, 41. Well, that pop had me in the money 30 points at one point. I didn't even see 30 flash. I think highest I saw was 22. This is what I mean, by the way. This market is scared of its own shadow right now. It's touchy. It's really touchy. There you go, bulls. ATR 41. Pulling into the top of this wedge here. I'm looking for better than half ATR. I'm currently there. There we go, 25 points. Pull it there at the top of the wedge. And wait for the next setup here. Wait, I've got 2 trades, don't I? I never updated the trade count. There we go. All right, 43, closing up here in 21 seconds. Let's keep it moving. All right. Got to keep an eye on that high, by the way. Little wedge. Maybe we pull back in to form a trading range. Top here. Low. 37, 38, 39. Yeah, maybe. We'll keep an eye on this. Yeah, and you're looking at an NQ 5-minute. Man, if you haven't yet, hit like on the stream, man. I appreciate you doing so. Hey, or dislike, big dog. Whatever you're into. Whatever you like. You want to go around and hit dislike on some YouTube live streams on a Tuesday? Man, you fucking hit dislike. We love it. Same thing. All right, bar 44. Come on now. Nathan, big man, what's up, brother? How we doing? Mario, big dog. All right, well, we got a little sideways range here toward the top of this wedge. Probabilities here are like probably less than 55% chance we break higher, though better than 50%. But, you know, to make the math easy for the sake of explanation, if you assume a 1-to-1 reward to risk, which is obviously not a good assumption because every trade I just risk what's necessary for that trade. But for the math, you know what I mean? If you assume 1-to-1, just for the sake of talking probability, which will shift with the reward to risk as in real life, right? I'm looking for more like 60 or higher percent situations. Nathan says, recently passed a few accounts, good work. I'm a little nervous to trade them. The last time I had funded accounts, they didn't last very long. The videos in the tomb have helped. My mind is getting better. Trade smaller, dude. Just trade smaller. I get it. Like, I understand. Like, I'm not out of touch as far as, like, yeah, but Nico, I have bills to pay. Yeah, no shit, dude. Everyone has bills to pay. Everyone who now trades at one point was in that position where they're like, yeah, I'd love to be patient, but I got bills to pay. I get it. Okay, but the slow way is the fast way. Or I could sit here and tell you to trade, 10 minis and really hit your dopamine receptors and disrespect the fuck out of you and your family if you prefer that I do that, but I'm not going to. Trade smaller and you will get there. You need to not care. You care a little bit, but like, for the sake of explaining what I mean, you need to be able to put a trade on look at it and say, whatever happens, I'll move out my life. It's cool. Obviously, you're not just here to entertain yourself and put on trades and say, don't give a fuck. You're here to make money, and ideally, as much money as humanly possible, because life is really expensive. But if you look at a trade and you're biting your fingernails like a child, you're too big. Straight up. Which ties right back into what do I always say? You need to, I don't care how old you are, irrelevant. You're at the age you're at, okay? Next. You just need to desensitize yourself to as big of numbers as possible, as young as possible. And then you'll put on a trade where you're risking thousands of dollars instead of tens or hundreds, and you'll be like, or tens of thousands of dollars, and you'll be like, okay, I did my job. I'll manage it as necessary and move on. And by the way, when I say this, a response that I get a lot, and it's a genuine question, people will say, yeah, but Nico, like, materialism aside, they're like, I'm here to get rich, dude. Like, we all want to make a lot of money, right? Life is really expensive. You back your car's mirror into a post. That'll be, $2,900. I don't get how people do it. Like, working... I mean, obviously, I had to do it, so I get it, but it's not pretty. So I'm not saying your goal shouldn't be to make 6 figures a month, 7 figures a month, maybe someday, right? You might as well shoot for it. What I'm saying is, no, you're not going to get rich trading one micro. But guess what? You're definitely not going to get rich if you never find profitability. You will be one of these people who come to me and say, Nico, I've been trading for 25 years and I've never really had a green year. You want that to be you? Because then you're starting over at 50. Which, by the way, if you're 50 and you're just getting to the market, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people who've been trading 25 years and have never been able to look themselves in the mirror and have the discipline necessary to make this work, even a little bit. You can't trade 10 minis or 20 minis if you have no positive expected value. It's not possible because you will predictably lose money and you're going to lose way more than is necessary. Mathematically provable. So you have to walk so that you can sprint. I don't know what to tell you, man. I get it. You're like, Nico, I have bills to pay. No shit, homeboy. All of us do. So if you want to pay them from here, you have to trade small until you find profitability, and then you scale. All right, bar 46, 442 out. Okay, now, what do we have here as far as arguments? Well, of course, you have this soft bull channel, which you can also draw as a bull wedge. But you also have this. And when you can draw that, I prefer to look at it like that, you see? Sideways range since bar 36. And if you want to widen that out, sideways range maybe since bar 30, well, 31, really. All right, now you see how wick high of 43 never took out the wick high of 40? And now 46 is trying to take out the wick low of 43? To me, this starts to yell more sideways trading range than soft bull anything. So we have to watch this thing develop. Question, when would you switch to a bearish bias if I get a bearish setup? I don't say it to be a smartass. It's just that's as simple. I don't have any bias. I do what I'm told to do according to the price action and RAM. Simple as that. I really don't care which way it goes. All right, so for me to get short, yeah, questions about that. For me to get short, you see how we have this bullish push? And I said, I forget when I said it. I think on 31. Here, let me zoom out a little. I said the whole day is probably just a big trading range, and then you have price action in between, right? So if the bears end up taking this lower and heading back down toward, maybe not all the way to, but toward low at day, which is the wick low at 20, obviously at some point along the way I'd be getting short, right? Ideally. What's the context right now? Right now it's trading range, and I would draw it like that. Don't overthink the lines, by the way. Don't worry about it. They're just ranges that form the trading range. So 47 here, if it were to close right here, it would be the first bar to close outside and kind of right at the 20 EMA. Then, if we rolled over into 48 and I got a repeat, a nice clean bear body closing near the low, then I'd short it. That's what it would take. But until then, I'm thinking range, range, range. See that bull's trying to take it right back into the trading range? The bears are going to be a little insecure about the wick lows here, 36, 37, 38, 39, right? Doesn't mean they can't take us lower. Ideally, I'd like them to give us more setups here, get us out of this trading range. But we know that there's likely to be a bit of insecurity there. That's okay. We let it work out. All right, I'll be right back. 2 minutes. All right. Okay, bar 48 here. We are a minute out approximately, minute 7. And 47 closed with a tremendous wick. Inside the wick lows of 36, 37, 38, 39. Which would make 48 the first bar closing outside. But well outside, not barely. So we gotta be careful of that sideways range. All right, let's watch 48 close up here. 35 seconds. Man, look at 48, 49 dojis. Jeez, ATR. Goodness, I haven't looked at ATR in a few bars. ATR is down to 32. Wow, we were just at 50 not too long ago. That's not ideal. Now, if the bears can dump this thing and start moving us back downside in this big range here, that will probably come up at least to the high 30s. If not the low 40s, which would be best. But right now, what's the context? Trade range, right? Which means it is not yet time to bet on that. All right, Bulls backfilling the range here on bar 49, 217, out. right, so the width on this range, I mean, realistically, we're looking at 50, maybe 60 points if you really want to push it. With an ATR of 34, that's not so tremendously wide. It's not going to leave a lot of room for continuation in the range. And since it's a sideways range, there's not a whole lot of opportunity for buy low, sell high type scalping. Not that it isn't logical, by the way. The problem with it in sideways ranges is not logic. Of course, that makes sense. The problem is, most of the time, is managing your risk. So if the bulls could take this thing up and through, that would be, or the bears, man, I don't care which way. Let's just get away from this range. That would be ideal. There we go, bulls! Come on now! Oh, we love it. ATR back up to 36. 4 minutes, 10 seconds out here from the close of bar 50. Big bar 50. All right, now remember here, high of day is at the wick high of bar 1, which is sitting about 24,303 here on NQ. Those bulls hesitating a tad to take it out. Let's see if they will. Now, by the way, range on this bar here, bar 50 is about 70 points. ATR is sitting at 39, so we're not quite outsized on the bar, but it's a bigger bar, for sure, right? Now, even if you got a clean close here out of bar 50, is it a really good opportunity for a stop hunt? First of all, is it an opportunity for a stop hunt? Yeah, of course. But is it an opportunity for a good stop hunt trade? I would argue no. No. Why? It's really close to this. I prefer to take the stop hunt at the end of my trade. I prefer to be taking profit on the stop hunt the way it lines up rather than like starting the trade on it. So I will take a trade like this for a scalp, which is higher probability, lower reward to risk. But there's a problem here with the probability, isn't there? The problem is that lately, for the last month, these markets have been more range-bound than average, even if the ranges are bigger. The day's range breaks don't tend to go, at least not very far, which you would need it to here, for anything other than a scalp. Which hurts probability even on the scalp, doesn't it? And you can see that here with bar 50 hesitating to take out the high at 24,303, pulling on back. We got a minute 33 out. Let's see how this closes up, sitting at the midpoint of the bar currently. Again, range on this bar, ATR 39, range is about 70 points. And again, this is a 5-minute chart. All right, rolling over here. You see that? Bar 50 closing beneath its midpoint. A lot of hesitation. That doesn't leave much room for a good stop hunt trade, does it, right? You see the wick high here? In comparison to the high of day, wick high of 1. What's up, Diggs? Is this a 5-minute? 5-minute NQ? You gotta watch out for that range, man. You gotta. There are two different contexts. Now, when I say context, typically I'm talking about intraday, right? But you gotta keep in mind the zoomed out version as well. How's the market reacting to things lately? Like if you think back to November, I just use it as an example. You could take the early trade. If you take it maybe 30% of the time, you could take it maybe 50+% of the time. Because they were working. But in a market like March or maybe December that's more range bound, where breakout attempts are not going very far, and instead of 80% of range breakout attempts eventually failing, it's more like 90-95%. Maybe you take the early trade 10% of the time. Bears pulling us right back into the trading range, taking out the wick low of 50 and 51 here. All right, ATR sitting now 37. It's not too bad. Can't complain too much about that. We were around 50 here at the start. Well, maybe 2 hours ago. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. As much as I'd love to stick around, I have my live meeting with the Tomb here in an hour and 11 minutes. So 3 o'clock Eastern time, I will see my Tomb guys live inside. And for the rest of you guys, I'll see you back here tomorrow morning, man, because I got to go hit lunch. And then we'll see what, I don't know, the early afternoon here brings, or I guess the mid-afternoon. And then I'll see you Tomb guys live here in an hour 10. All right, guys. Hey, hang in there. Let it come to you. Again, this market for the last month or so, maybe 4 to 6 weeks-ish, has definitely been a little bit more range-bound in general. Doesn't mean you shouldn't trade it. Just means that you got to be a little bit more patient. That's okay. All right, guys. I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Hang in there.